What is good, yo? What's up with y'all boys, man? I've been waiting for the NFL season to start, and I gotta tell you, I really gotta speak my mind, and I'm gonna be speaking my mind this season. So yeah, I'm gonna be dropping a lot, some NFL content gonna be coming. If you don't know, pause. And if you don't know, I am a Dallas Cowboys fan. Love it, hate it, I don't really care, man. I'm the one who's, going through it, suffering with the, 29-year NFC championship drought. So if you got a great team, congrats to you, man. Congrats to whatever, all the bandwagons, congrats to y'all. I ain't jumping ship. But speaking of the Cowboys, I want to touch on the performance. So, I did like what I seen out the defense. Mike Zimmer has these boys playing. Like, he got them boys balling. I mean, Eric Kendricks, I'm not going to bet. I was a little skeptical on the pickup, but man, I gotta step back because he looked like he just is an anchor in the middle of that defense. You like right in the middle of that linebacker core, he looked like a straight up anchor. Had the most tackles, had a pick. I mean, his presence was felt. And I was just like, okay, I see why Mike Zimmer wanted his boy back. Because, hey, man, I was a little concerned. I'm like, hey, man, he's a little old, washed. Is he like, hey, man, he made a statement, bro. I'm going to keep it true. I think that's what we needed. Big body, toughness. We looked more stout up the middle because I could tell the Browns wanted to get that run game going, and they couldn't, which was a good sign. But I know it's the Browns. I know, not to blow it out of proportion. But it was a good defensive performance. Now on to the offense. Mr. $60 million man, Dak Prescott. Now, in the past, I've spoken my thoughts on Dak Prescott. I've never really been sold. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of football, and I just know when a guy as far as quarterbacks goes, has that it factor. Like, he got it. He just has it. Now, Dak Prescott is not a bad quarterback. He can play the position. Okay, he can play the position. But I do feel like he seriously reaches potential with the Dallas Cowboys. I just feel like he's one of those guys who's kind of like capped in that kind of good, but not necessarily great. Like Derek Carr, ironically, they were the same number. Kirk Cousins. I think he's a little bit better than Kirk, but, just a good quarterback. He'll win some games. He's going to put up stats, but there's another level to it. I haven't been seeing it for a while now. Since 2019, I believe, I wanted to move on from Dak Prescott. And I was ahead of the train, man. But he's here now. I get it. Whatever. I'm rocking with it. You feel me? I got no truth. Like I said, he's gonna be here for a minute now, man. And it is what it is. As far as I wasn't very impressed with what I saw against the Browns from Dak Prescott. Sure, he had the wide open throw to the back. I've seen Trey Lance make that same throw in the preseason, and everybody just talks about how garbage Trey Lance is. I've seen Trey Lance make the same throw under pressure. Throw the little it was a little different. It was like a fade, so you could argue Trey Lance's pass was better, but Trey Lance can make that pass, man. So what does that really say? It was wide open, 1 TD, not a lot of yards, whatever. I've seen 3, maybe even more, drop picks. He threw it straight in Denzel Ward's hands a few times, and it was just dropped. But whatever, he didn't get picked off. We'll give him that. He had like 170. He had like 10 more yards than Deshaun Watson. Offense was looking pretty stagnant. Lots of field goals. I'm used to it. We score a lot of points, but that's because if you ever run a fantasy team, draft our field goal kicker every season, because our field goal kickers are stacking up points, man. We are the field goal kings, man. I feel like we kick about 5 field goals a game every game, and luckily we do have the best kicker in the league. Brandon Aubrey, it's not close. We have the best kicker in the league. Argue with somebody else, we have the best kicker in the league. It's not close. And that's going to help us. But as far as Dak, man, like I said, man, I'm going to have to be on the delusional Cowboys fan, put on the delusional Cowboy fans lenses and be like, you know what, maybe this year he'll get it done. Honestly, I just was always skeptical of him, man. Like I was saying, man, ever since he took the job from Tony, I did not like how they did Tony Romo. I think we're still paying for how dirty we did Tony Romo. We did not need to do Tony Romo like that. It just was like, he did not deserve to be sent away like that. Tony Romo, I don't care what nobody says. I seen it with Tony Romo. I just seen it. I seen it, man. He had that. He had it, man. Like, it just was a different vibe watching Tony play than watching Dak play. Like, when a game was on the line and it was time for Tony to make a drive, I fully believed he was going to get the job done. I was like, Tony is going to do it. He's going to take it home. And if you don't believe me, even your boy Pat Mahomes even said it himself. Tony Romo's one of the clutchest QBs, in the game. He was one of them. And every time the game was on the line, I knew, I was like, I trust Tony, man. Tony's going to get it done, bro. When the game was on the line with Dak, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. He just, the clutch gene, I just think he lacks poise and he lacks the clutch gene. And I don't want to make this a Dak video, but that's what it's going to come down to. That's really what it's going to come down to if it's going to be us getting over that hump. He's going to have to get more poise, more clutch, and less like scared and frightened in these big playoff scenarios. You got to shake it. Like, you can't keep, it's 2-5 in the playoffs. This is not no coincidence. Every year you have all these great years, and then somehow one of your worst game of the year, if not one of your top 3 worst games of the year, always happens in the playoffs. This is not a coincidence, man. There's a reason for this. This is 2-5 is stark. We'll see what happens this year, but he has a team around him. He's been having teams around him. He's been having talent. Like I said, he's not a terrible quarterback, but I think he's in that good tier, not in that next top tier, man. And I get it. There's only a handful of those guys, but I would be a little bit more like, I still think he could get it done because you're going to be a good tier quarterback, not be elite tier, but you got to have poise, though. You got to have poise. You got to have calmness, and you got to be able to perform under pressure. You don't got to be the most talented. You don't got to be the strongest arm, fast. But if you got poise, you calm, you feel me? The lights ain't too bright, and you can handle it under pressure. You feel me? You can get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's the one thing intangible he's missing, and I don't know how we can make up for that.